Welcome to the video and thanks for joining me. As some of you may know, I've owned my 701 Supermoto since 2021. Over the last 2 years, I've used it as my main mode of transport, and that comprises of riding to work, a bit of off-road riding, group rides, and the occasional weekend windy roads carving. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are that 1. You want to buy a 701 Supermoto or Enduro, or one of its cousins, the KTM 690 and Gas 700. Or 2. You already own one and you're curious on the longevity of your bike. Or 3. You're just a free spirit wandering your way around random videos on YouTube. Whichever category you fall into, I hope I'll be able to answer some of your questions in the video. If not, feel free to use the comment section below and ask whatever questions you may have. What's up? Welcome to the video. So if you watch the news, you've probably seen Australia's quite a bit famous for its bushfires, especially during the summer season. And just behind, so this bridge here is the freeway, Kwinana Freeway. Just behind is Kings Park. And today we had a fire in there. See how close it is to the city. I'm pretty sure it would have been someone that was just keen to set something alight. I don't think it was a natural fire. Anyway, my bike's done close to 32,000 kilometers, and I've decided to take it in for a service. So if you've seen my previous video about the 701 and servicing, just kind of pointed out how reliable it's been for me, and I wanted to show you guys how much the servicing was going to cost, because it tends to be one of the things that puts people off buying a European bike, even worse, a supermoto. Yeah, so I stated in that video, I was a bit disappointed in how much I ended up paying for mostly labor. So labor accounted for over 60% of the cost of that service, and it was a major service. They checked the valves were in spec. They had a look at the bike and everything. It was all good. One thing that I didn't get to do in that service though was recall on the clutch slave cylinder. I'm hoping to get that included in this service that I'm taking my bike for. So you're probably surprised saying, hey dude, you said you're going to be servicing your own bike. Well, let me explain. I've been racking up some serious miles with this bike. I've been going on long trips with friends on 1000cc bikes and stuff. And if you're doing twisties and stuff, you're good. If you've seen videos of Ant Prilia, who normally rides with Max Wrist, he just like gaps Max Wrist, even though Max is on a much bigger bike. But that's because they're in the twisties, where the weight of the bike and bike geometry and things like that come more into the picture as compared to like if you're doing straight lines. So I've been going with guys that want to let it rip on their 1000cc bikes and just see how capable their bikes are. I mean, I'm over there trying to keep up with them in 6th gear, just bouncing off the rev limiter. So yeah, my bike's incurred quite a bit of abuse lately, and I was like, okay. Another thing that's made me consider taking my bike in for a service is many comments that I've had previously in my videos of guys that had KTM 690s or Husqvarna 701s, pretty much the same engine bikes, have been talking about not having issues wheeling and not seeing any need for modifications and stuff. I'm like, oh, hang on, my bike's never felt like that from the time that I got it. And I have attributed the lack of power to the restrictions from all these emission requirements. So I've done a few mods to kind of wake the bike up. Not as far as getting a power commander. Maybe if Black Friday has some good deals on, I might be able to find it within myself to fork out the hundreds of dollars for a power commander. The reason why I've kind of stayed away from getting a power commander is after seeing some videos of people that have installed a power commander, they've said the change in performance was not reflective of the dollars invested. And then in another video that I did recently, I got to have a go on a Gas 700 Supermoto, mainly to see if for sure there's something wrong with my bike. It wouldn't be something massively wrong, because I've been pretty happy with it the way it is. Yeah, so I thought I'd take the bike in so the experts can have a look and they can run their diagnostics to see if there are any fault codes coming up and stuff like that. So once they plug all that in, hopefully it should kind of tell them where things are standing.
I took my bike to Perth Husqvarna for the service, and I mentioned to the guys I previously had a major service and this just had to be a minor one. When I checked with the technician what the difference between a major and a minor service was, on top of the obvious oil and filter change, he told me a major service will include a valve clearance inspection, a new spark plug, and a fresh batch of coolant. So I chose to go for the minor service plus a valve clearance inspection. I also requested that they carry out further testing due to my performance concerns, just to make sure everything in the engine and the fueling department was all good. I dropped off the bike, let it stay overnight, and I picked it up the following day. Alright, so I'm now in the back of my favorite Uber driver's car, and I'm next to a 2-year-old who's asking why every 2 minutes.
A massive shout out to Perth Husqvarna for taking care of my baby. Okay, so we picked up a bike. I'll just show you. 31,792 kilometers. Pretty much 32,000. We'll just say it's 32,000. So the guys at the shop pointed out that my fuel filter, because I told him, I was like, it feels like it's quite a bit under power. I don't know why that is. He was like, my fuel filter was one of the worst that he's ever seen. I was like, oh, okay, that says something. But I wonder if it's bad enough. Sorry, I keep looking back just to make sure my wife is right behind me, because I'm the head of maps and directions in our household. Yeah, anyway, the guy said the valves were in spec at 31,700 kilometers. The valves are in spec. What else? The fuel filter is buggered, so they've replaced the fuel filter. I thought it was going to be like a massive thing, or you know, like a massive component, but it was so tiny, so small. Yeah, so I didn't call the guys up ahead to find out if they're cool with me. Jigsaw. If they're cool with me filming in there, so I'm always reluctant to just walk into people's faces with a camera, because you don't know how they're going to respond. So yeah, the fuel filter apparently was pretty buggered and clogged up, and I hope that answers my question for why my bike was comparatively so much slower than than a stock unit with the same engine. I'll run it on my butt dyno and we'll see how it goes, but I can't really flog it right now because yeah, the only protective gear I've got on would be my helmet and the gloves. Yeah, she's punching harder. Punching harder.
Okay, what's the conclusion from the service? Number 1, the valves stayed within spec even after a life of 31,790 kilometers or 19,753.39 miles for my Imperial counterparts. Number 2, the guys detected a clogged fuel filter and replaced it. This is not to insult any bike mechanics out there, but most standard service checklist items are DIY friendly. However, if you suspect there's something wrong with your bike, or if you're worried about the resale value, taking the bike, to a shop is preferable. So, after riding the bike for a few days after the service, I did feel like it ran a bit better, but not to a point where it felt like my arms were being pulled out of their sockets. For this reason, I was left wondering, would it be that my full system aftermarket exhaust paired with my high flow K&N filter are making my bike crave a bit more fuel than my booster plug is providing? Maybe. Maybe I need a power commander. Bugger. Anyway, if you want to share your thoughts, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next one.